Hello everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. Welcome aboard. So we're going to do some very quick top line chart analysis of three projects here: XLM, Stellar, Lumens, Ripple, XRP, and we've also got Zinfin with XDC as well. And I just wanted to reiterate, we're not always about hyping up things when they're growing. We also want to look at strategies of potential buying opportunities and things like this, and just the general status of all the charts and all the projects as much as we can as well. So do leave comments below with any kind of feedback that you have, because we always want to try and improve the content for you guys. And also let us know of crypto assets that you want chart analysis done on as well, even if it's ones that we don't cover specifically all the time. We're always open to looking at other projects as well, quite easily and simply. So please do let us know. So without further ado, let's go straight into Stellar Lumens. Okay, now this one I'm going to actually admit here, because for me, I think I've been quite lazy with this one. I've stacked XLM personally towards the latter end of last year, and to be honest, the price hasn't moved a gigantic amount from that kind of point around sort of I was getting it, actually, to be fair, a big batch of it around the sort of 12 cent mark and around the 20 odd cents as well. So we're still seeing some good progression. Obviously we had the big markup here around May time, like the rest of the market, to up to 80 cents. So there's still plenty of movement in the tank, specifically for Stellar Lumens in this next run. And beyond, of course, as well. We've got to remember, it's not just about this year. Stellar Lumens has an important role to play in the financial game for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years. So this is very much early days, and we will laugh at these prices, I promise you, in even 5 years, 10 years time. And when I mentioned about me being lazy, what I mean is I've kind of sat on the opportunity here. I haven't bought any XLM for a good 5-6 months after this kind of tank up, and I just ignored it really, and I shouldn't have done. And obviously this is not financial advice, it's just personal opinion and my thoughts on it and my view as to how I've reacted. And for me, I've been lazy, and right now I should really be adding some more for myself and Steve, I'm sure, as well. Because these prices, yes, we've seen the 80 cent mark, so like I said, there's good growth opportunity there. But moving forward, when we get to over the dollar mark, I'm going to be annoyed with myself for not anticipating, certainly missing this point, but especially like a second one. It's almost like this is calling out to me to say, hey, Simon, pay attention here. But that's just my thoughts around that personally. But in terms of the analysis of the chart here, there's just a few points here. So the RSI, again, we've got good movement opportunity here. We're still bang in the middle. So we're very much at the moment testing this sort of mark here around the 36 cents. And what I mean by that is we've kind of tried to attack that 40 cents, and we did relatively well, but it's really very much rejected. Of course, a good sell-off, because this key point here for traders, especially in the last sort of 2 to 4 weeks, has been absolutely fantastic growth, especially if you're buying down here. You pretty much doubled your money, so it's understandable, and that's pretty natural correction. But then we stabilized up quite high again as well, as people were starting to buy in after they've taken the profits. Had a good drop down, but then we haven't quite accelerated up to that 40 cent mark again. We teetered around sort of 38 cents, and it's kind of stayed stable around that, so it's given people a second opportunity for potential trades and things like that. But more importantly for me, I want to see a stabilization. So we've actually seen a couple of rejections around this 36 cent, which is really positive news in my opinion. So if we can get a good stable line across here for a few more days, I do generally believe that we'll start to see a bit more of an uptake again on this particular asset. Of course, there's a possibility that we might try and test the lower regions again, just to confirm them and come back up. But I do think that we've sort of had that once, twice. This arguably could have been a potential opportunity for a bear opportunity in the sense of coming back down, and it didn't. So I'm anticipating that we're seeing a new level of 36 cent support before we start looking up a bit higher to 40. So in my opinion, there was obviously a buying opportunity here. I've personally missed it. But let's keep an eye on this for the next few days and see where we're going. We'll obviously do an update next week on XLM to see where those opportunities are. and we can assess potential buy opportunities. But I do think for me right now, I do have some buy orders in. I've bought batch probably later today around this mark that it is now, and I'll put a couple in probably at the 34 and the 32 levels, not necessarily bang on 32, because you've got to think psychologically in these things. Like it's usually slightly higher or slightly lower, random numbers. I don't think I'll put any down here, but I'm not really fussed personally missing out on that sort of 2 cents difference. So let's see how we go on that. With the MACD, again, this is what I was saying earlier about just being cautious of this RSI level on the channel and here. We may have a potential crossover. So this is narrowing. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, and that's why I want to do an update for you guys in a few days' time, just to make some confirmations and a better assessment, because I don't want to obviously do too much out of line kind of thing. So we'll have a look at that for sure. But in terms of the performance over the year, 200% year to date, 39% up on month, and up 12% week on week. So it's really good positive movements here. 6 months is kind of a bit skewed because you're essentially anticipating an average here, including the big rise and the big drop. So it's not a surprise that that's in the red, but it's good progress for Stellar Lumens. You've got to think long term for this one, absolutely, but I'm sure there's trade opportunities for those out there that enjoy that kind of thing. So that kind of like wraps up XLM. I'm going to try and spend a good few minutes on each one. And then we go to probably my favourite one, and Steve's favourite right now as well, is Zinfin's XDC. So we've seen some really good news from them recently regarding the smart contracts kind of conversations and things like that. It's a fantastic hybrid blockchain. I'll leave some videos links at the end of this for all three assets that we've done intros and further analysis on. But let's go to this chart situation here. So I thought this was fantastic. I did actually sell off my initial bag, which I was buying at ridiculous costs way back when it was like 4 cents or something silly. And to get to the 19 cents, I actually personally had a sell order at 0.1927, I think, and it managed to get to 1952. So I managed to hit that. I did have also a sell order slightly higher than that, around the 21 cent mark, just in case there was too much bullish momentum, but we managed to hit that target. And now I've got buy orders in around 1640 and one slightly lower as well. And the reason I've done one slightly lower is because we've had such great growth here. I didn't really see much of a testing of these areas, so it's always good practice, in my opinion, to have 2 or 3 stages both in the upward direction for when you're selling, and 2 or 3 stages in the lower regions as well for when you're trying to buy back in, because you can sit there and go and anticipate, I'll just do it when it gets to this, and that's absolutely fine. But for me, I made a mistake in the last run of not taking advantage as we go along, and because you don't know, you just simply don't know what could happen in this market. This thing could tank. It could tank in a week's time, and you're going, well, I've missed this massive opportunity. So it's really good practice to do 2 or 3 different layers. Everyone's got their own personal preference. This is not me saying you need to do them at this and level. I'm just giving you an opinion and an option of what I'm looking at, just from the analysis of everything I'm doing, really. And the RSI, again, is top heavy in the third quarter, I would say. But again, there is still movement to the upside, and I do believe we're in a very good sort of growth momentum within all the markets at the moment. But yeah, I do always anticipate some kind of biggish correction. When you see these kind of big moves up, you will see some profit taking at very unique levels. I would anticipate psychologically 20 cents and beyond there as well being opportunities. But what's interesting here is obviously we hit nearly towards 20 cents, which is why I'm making that point. Psychologically, people don't always usually put limit orders and things at 20 cents. They'll do it just before, because they always think that psychologically a rounded number is something that everyone kind of thinks about, and traders kind of think a bit differently. So think about that if you are trading. Obviously, none of this again is financial advice, but just think about it from a psychological perspective. And adjust it slightly, because to be honest, the difference between 20 cents and 1950 is nothing, So really, in the grand scheme of things. So just to anticipate that. As I've mentioned, we have had good volume here on the MACD as well. So just anticipate this gap keeping as it is, perhaps for a few more days or maybe a week, and we can assess this next week to see where we are. But I do anticipate a bit of a strengthening position at this 16 cents and a movement upwards. Let's see how that goes. And performance wise, I haven't a clue. It's disappeared off my screen. Who knows why, but apparently we're in a good strong buy momentum as well. So let's keep that going. Thank you, Zinfin. And finally, on to XRP Ripple, of course, one of our other favorite bags here. What I like about this is we've done a few test points here. So we did get up to that sort of 140, I think, maybe just under 140, 135, sorry. So we haven't seen those levels since May time, when we're having the ups and down period of a bit of volatility in the May time. But we had the correction here of some sell-offs, and we've bounced straight back off that, almost near enough a dollar support line, I would call that, to be honest. And it's been fantastic to see that we're actually moving very positively to this support line of over $1.20. So we're getting an accumulation of this area, which again is fantastic to see. On the RSI, we are looking towards that midpoint. So again, good room for growth. Of course, it can always come down as well, but the momentum is here. I'm being a bit cautious on the MACD of this narrowing. So I do think we'll have a bit of stability for maybe during this next 7-day period or so, and potential small growth, but we must keep an eye on this not crossing over. So it's kind of indicating that we might be pushing towards a small switch. We'll see. But hopefully the bulls will continue to push XRP in a nice manner. And on the performance element, we've obviously got some really good green elements here on the right hand side that you can see. With the exception of 6 months, I think that's pretty much what we've covered before already, just because it includes that big rise and big dip. So it's going to be a skewed percentage. But in terms of weekly, monthly and 3 month, we are looking very good. And we're in a buying momentum as well. And from the Ripple news of the SEC, there's nothing really major coming out of that, other than I think Ripple have to kind of backtrack on a few things because of some of the things they've brought to light recently. This thing, I'm tired of what I don't watch videos of. Oh, it's going to be done by this day. It's going to be done. No one knows. Like, this thing will go on until the SEC wins. There's no doubt about it in my mind. As much as we think, Ripple are honest and not guilty, the SEC will get their way because they will obviously want to show the power and the significance of it. And I think it will deliver a message to all the securities out there, or potential securities, which we believe XRP isn't, but all the crypto assets out there, to go, wow, actually these guys go to the end to try and stop all this or have this kind of issue. I have theories around the suppression of it and why, potentially doing it on purpose because they're working on their own sort of bridge systems and things like this. You've got the projects we spoke about recently as well under the radar that the governments are working on. But equally, you've got things like R3 Corda with XDC. And I was kindly noted the other day in one of the comments that, of course, they share an office in Singapore with Ripple, which is quite interesting. So, there's really under the radar things that we probably will never know about until they're announced. So I'm sort of, it's getting a bit tedious, the SEC lawsuit thing, but there's no timestamp on it. I thought it'd be done by November, just in time really for all the other things like CBDC announcements, and particularly for next November as well, because I'm sure they'd want all these kind of things in place infrastructure-wise to really launch these kind of projects globally. So it's going to be a really interesting time. Like I said, I'm personally not fussed about all these YouTube videos about, oh, it's going to be done this week, it's going to be done next month. No one knows, and they're only putting those videos out there more and more so that there's more opportunity that they can turn around and go, oh yeah, we were correct. Yeah, see, we said it would be a week. We said, yeah, but also you did 100 videos saying it would be this, and this date. So just be patient. One positive I'll take out of it is beyond the suppression, beyond the lawsuit, this thing is getting new all-time highs. It's getting new price discovery modes in the last 6 months, and particularly recently it's showing stability over the dollar, which I think is phenomenal and fantastic, and it just proves how structured and strong this asset is and how much people believe in it. You can't go wrong with having bags of XRP, that is for sure. So guys, that kind of wraps up everything chart wise. I hope you found it informative. Please do let us know in the comments below if you hold any of these three assets, and if you want us to cover anything in particular in the next video, including the chart analysis. And also let us know if you want any other assets covered as well. We are more than happy to do so. I'm going to wrap this up because it's pretty much near on bang on 15 minutes, which would indicate we've been very accurate on our 5 minutes per asset here. And we would like to thank you very much for watching. Please do like the video, it really helps us out, and please do subscribe. We've smashed the 500, let's go to 600. Thank you so much guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.